everyone, Noble Artist here, and today in this video is going to be another tutorial. So I'm going to show you two more very simple designs for shoulder pads. Someone asked me if I could do another video on those or a more detailed video with the shoulder pads. So yes, these are going to be for clones. I know there's a lot of different types of shoulder pads. You can get really crazy. And you know, I've done some pretty wild designs myself, but these two are going to be pretty simple. They're going to be kind of traditional, but I'm going to add a little bit of extra pizzazz to them. So what you're going to need is a figure to work on. That helps. That's always a good start. Now for the metal, obviously you can use different materials. I have my crafting metal that I've been using forever, and I've already cut my pieces out. There's a way to cut circles if you don't have a hole punch. That's what I use. I just have a hole punch for mine. So if you don't have one of those, then take your metal, whatever you use. If you're using metal or paper or fabric or plastic, you can use whatever. Just get a piece, start cutting a square, and once you get a square that looks like it will fit over a shoulder, you can kind of size up to your figure. What you're going to do now is just cut the corners off. Boom. Like so. Once you cut the four corners off, you can see how there's these little edges, how it's kind of got, it's not a circle yet. So just keep doing that, and you see the pointy pieces, and you just keep cutting those off, and you just keep spinning it and cutting those corners. You're literally just cutting the corners off as you see them, and just spinning around. You just keep cutting the corners, and eventually you'll have your own circle. So yeah, that's a quick way to do that if you don't have the tools. I'm gonna try to get a link in my next video or my next tutorial. I'm gonna try to get a link of all the tools I use so people can go and get the same stuff. So anywho, once you get that done, the next piece, I have 3 of these circles cut out, so you'll need 3 of these for this video. And I also have just a strip of metal about yay wide. This is up to you, honestly. This is whatever you want it to be. I cut one and I measured it. I'm like, yeah, it looks about right. So I'm gonna use one. But anywho, take your first piece, and this is just my preference. I found that if you take a paintbrush and just bend it over the brush like so, and then you can kind of flatten it just a little bit with your fingers, that kind of gives the best angle. It bends it pretty much where we want it to be for a Lego figure. It's weird how that works, but when you use a paintbrush, it's like the same diameter for a Lego guy's arm. So looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and just apply this shoulder pad, because we're gonna be putting stuff on the shoulder pad. It's gonna have 2 layers to it. So I'm going to take my handy glue and just put a little bead. Boom, it's all it takes. It's not a lot. Just put a little glue in the middle of your shoulder pad, or you kind of want to put it to the upper part, the part that's going to go on the top of the shoulder. Go ahead and take his helmet off, and then you want to make sure your arm is positioned where you want it. So don't have it, if you want it, you know, don't go crazy with it. Try to line that part up with the back. So you want his arm to be even. So when he's at a natural resting stance, his shoulder pad looks like it's on where it needs to be. And then you just apply said shoulder pad. Just drop that on there. Now you do have a little wiggle room to, I kind of push mine down just a little bit. And yeah, so just wiggle that on there, get it where you want it. And there you go. So that's the first part down. Now for this one, we are going to take another circle, and we're actually going to cut this one in half. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, half's good. Alright, so now that we have our half circle, we're going to do the same process. Bend it over like so, and then take your tweezer beads. If you don't have tweezer beads, if you have tweezers, whatever you use, Just grab them, take a look. Yep, that's what we want. And then for this one, we're going to put it about, we want to put it at the same spot, so right at the top of the other shoulder pad. Now, this one has some options. So we can put this one on, let me see if I can get the focus a little bit better. We can put this one on flush and have like two textures. I've seen that before. That looks pretty good like that. Or before we get to that stage, we could actually have it sticking, well, I'll try to get it so you can see it. We can have it sticking off the shoulder pad a little bit and have it kind of raised a little. So, whoop, dropped it. But yeah, so you can do a couple different things. It's up to you. This is how I do it, but maybe next time I want to do it a little different. So this is where it gets to the customizer's preference. Put a little bit of glue, not too much, not too little. Make sure the arm's right. And set that right there. Push it into place. You don't have to use your hands. I do because I want to, but. And there you go. It's very subtle, but it has two textures to it. And what I would do with this one is paint the bottom part white, like the original shoulder pad, white. And then that top part is going to be the accent color of whatever my figure was. So if it was green or blue or red, whatever it was, I would make that the top half. Now I've seen some where it was like green or like an olive green. It looked really good. So you can do whatever you want. Painting is, again, up to the designer. And yeah, so we're going to move on to the second shoulder pad. Now this one's going to be just a little bit different. We're actually going to put the piece on before we bend it. So we're going to actually build the shoulder pad first. So I'm going to take this strip of metal that I have, and I'm going to put a little glue on the middle, and I'm going to move it around just a little bit because I want it to be on more than just the middle. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to apply it to the shoulder pad, but I want it to be across the whole thing. And I want it to be in the middle too, that kind of helps. So position that in the middle, push that down. I actually have my duckbill pliers here to help me just crimp that. Get a nice, well, the problem with using those is that it could bend the metal. Not bend it, but it can put some markings on it, which not too favorable. Anywho, so yeah, this is what we're going to have. We're going to have basically the circle with that strip of metal on it, and then we're going to turn to the other side, like so. All right, this is what we got. And then we're going to basically cut off the excess on both sides. So take your scissors, very simple, just follow along. Doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you can't see it from that side, then you know you're doing it right. I know those cuts weren't like perfect, but when you flip it over, it actually fits. Alrighty, so what you should have now is a strip of metal down the center of your shoulder pad. Now we're going to repeat the same process we did for the other one. Now you can take this and you can go ahead and bend it over. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to do something else. So, alright, so once you have that, then we're going to do something a little bit different. We're actually going to cut off just the top part of it, just a little bit. I should have done this with the other one, but I didn't. But that's okay because the other one is a different design. So the majority of this one is still intact. We just cut the top off. If you see a lot of clone shoulder pads, they're not. It's not a perfect circle. The top part does kind of have a more flat edge to it. So cutting off just a little bit of the top of that will give you that look. And also, it doesn't interfere with the helmet if you have other things going on. It doesn't go up as high on the shoulder. So it's just one of those techniques that you can do it, you don't have to. And then again, we're going to bend it over the paintbrush. I just do it because it makes it look more like the clone shoulder pads from the cartoon. And it gives a different, it's just unique. So this is what we're going with. And because of that piece on the top, it almost looks like it has really sharp edges on the side. But trust me, it doesn't. I mean, it kind of does, but it works out. And again, we're going to apply a little bit of glue at the top. Just enough. And then we're going to land this ship right here. Boom. Before it dries, you don't want it to stick out like that. You want to push it down so it's flush with the arm, because you don't want it crazy. You know, it's supposed to be on the figure. You don't want it jutting out over the side. Alright, so now that we have this one on, we can, again, I suggest painting the sides white and then this line down the middle. Most clones have, or most clone commanders and whatnot have that colored stripe running all the way down their arm. So that one I would paint red or blue or whatever figure you want. But those are the two shoulder pads. Very simple designs, but really good. Really, you know, it's classic, it's clean, and it works with pretty much any figure you make. So yeah, very simple. I know I can make some really crazy ones sometimes, but those two I think would look really good on any figure. You can do them on your Mandalorians for the contest, or just whatever figure you want to make. So yeah, it goes with everything. It is a universal shoulder pad. So I'm going to do a video on painting, or an updated video on painting and how to paint, and I'll probably paint the shoulder pads for this, and then I still need to get one of the colors I'm missing, but I'm going to paint this guy in that video. I just decided. So I'm going to paint the comma. I got to paint this red and then the armor red actually, but it's going to look different because when I paint the comma, it's going to be this cool maroon color. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll get another painting video up. But anyway, for this tutorial, I hope y'all liked it. If you did, you know what to do. Hitchhike it. And don't forget to fist pound that subscribe button in the middle. Bam. And yeah, if you guys want to see any other types of tutorials, let me know. Also, I didn't exactly abandon ship on the helmet tutorial. It's just a lot that goes into it. I've been working on some prototypes, and yeah, it's not going to look exactly like a Mandalorian helmet, and I'm trying to figure it out. I actually got a lot going on, and I think I'm going to be leaving for training on Monday, so I got to figure out how to pack up all of my stuff so I can still make videos when I'm gone, because it's about to get really busy, and yeah, it's going to be cray-cray. But anywho, please let me know what other tutorials you want to make. I literally just saw one comment, and they asked for shoulder pads, so here you go. So yeah, if you guys want to see something, let me know, and I'll be glad to make it for you. But with that being said, take care, God bless, I hope this helped, and I will see y'all next time.